Okay, Dynasty draft experiments. Let's see what happens if I take 4 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds. Let's go. Okay, so you can see here we got our normal setup just as usual. I'm going to start the draft right away. I'm going to take 4 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds. So I'm going to start off in position number 1. Let's take number 1. So we'll definitely get a quarterback. And yeah, let's start the draft. And I'm going to let's take Josh Allen. He's right at the top. Let's turn that sound off. That is so annoying. That wows. Yeah, got to hit that, right? Absolutely terrible. So we got Josh Allen, and we're just waiting for the board to swing right back around to us again. Now, I'm going to take 4 quarterbacks for sure around, so I'm just going to keep it on quarterback. Don't care about these guys coming off, although it is quite annoying to see all these quarterbacks going. Hopefully, we'll get Russell Wilson falling to us. Of course, as I say that he doesn't. Jalen Hurts, Trey Lance, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence. Now you got to take Matthew Stafford here. I think he's the least risky of them all. And then, man, let's go Aaron Rodgers as well. Well, let's get our quarterbacks really, really solid. So we got Josh Allen, who's young already. Stafford and Rodgers, absolutely amazing. So that is 3 really, really good quarterbacks off the board. I know everyone's screaming at me like, why would you take Aaron Rodgers in the 3rd round? This is an experiment. I just want to see what happens, to be honest. And I'm hoping Derek Carr is going to fall as our, 4th quarterback, and then we can start thinking about building the rest of our team. Let's take Derek Carr there and lock him up a quarterback. And hey, actually, you know what? Let's take Tua Tagovailoa as well. I'm gonna take 5 in the first 5. And I'm actually really curious to see what that does to the other teams in the draft, and thinking about what I could do to sort of trade with the other teams now once I've got all those 5 quarterbacks that, you can see team 4 and team 9 are in desperate need of quarterbacks now. So I should be able to trade with them, as the season gets started. So let's have a look now. And we've got to start to build the rest of our team. So I can see Jerry Jeudy, Leonard Fournette, Keenan Allen sitting up there. I'm a big fan of Jerry Jeudy, but this is a win now team with all those quarterbacks. So Keenan Allen's going to score the most points. So I'll get Keenan Allen certainly locked up. And then, speaking of win now teams, we're going to need some running backs pretty quickly. So Leonard Fournette, we'll get him locked in as well as our first running back off the board, which, I don't hate. Considering you had people like, Cam Akers and Antonio Gibson going 2 rounds before, I'm a much bigger fan of Leonard Fournette for this year for sure, compared to Cam Akers and compared to Antonio Gibson. And who knows what's going to happen to him. And you can see the other teams are kind of catching up, trying to get their quarterbacks now, which is good news for me. So let's see what we got. We got Dallas Goedert and Dawson Knox. No interest in Knox. Damian Harris is there. Miles Sanders. I've got a slight interest in Miles Sanders for this year mainly. So, yeah, let's get Miles Sanders locked in as our second running back off the board. Tight end, let's have a quick look. Dallas Goedert is there. Quite like him, but he's, got a bit of a tricky situation. Brandon Ayuk, Hunter Renfrow. Yeah, let's go Hunter Renfrow here. Let's get him locked in. Again, we're trying to win this year. We got Keenan Allen and Hunter Renfrow locked in. Pretty happy with that. And again, all those quarterbacks hopefully should allow us to trade some real quality wide receivers and running backs. Trade those quarterbacks out for those teams that are in desperate need of them. So let's have a look and see who we've got. We've got Michael Carter, obviously no interest there. Cole Kmet, I like him as our first tight end. Scored 0 touchdowns last year. That's definitely going to go up. So I like Cole Kmet as our tight end 1. And let's have a look at some of these other players. Ramondre Stevenson's an interesting shout, but I can just see him sitting there again for a win now team. Adam Thielen, definitely a great player to lock in for a team that is ready to win this year with all those quality quarterbacks. Hopefully, we're eliminating some competition as well. It is a super flex league. If you don't have 2 quarterbacks, you're going to really, really struggle. And those teams now on the bye weeks are going to rely on, people like James Winston, as a quarterback number 2. Yeah, that's not great. So let's get our next player locked up. My guy, Irv Smith Jr. is there. Back. Oh, I'd love to take Irv. I think I might take Irv in my second pick. I'm going to lock up Melvin Gordon for sure, because I think this year he's going to be an absolute stud. And yeah, I'm going to take Irv Smith Jr. as well, just in case, Cole Kmet does end up, suffering like he did last year, because, you can't really trust that offense over in Chicago. So I think Irv Smith Jr. and Cole Kmet, one of those two is going to have a big season, if not both, but certainly one of those two for sure will have a big season. And now I'm thinking about building on my wide receiver room for sure. And I'm not picking either of those 2 guys to start with for sure. I'm avoiding a lot of these guys. I can probably wait a little bit in wide receiver. Who we got at quarterback? Not quarterback. I've got lots of them already. Naheem Hines Hassan. Man, this is pretty poor, isn't it? Not a lot left here. I'm going to go Gus Edwards here, just in case J.K. Dobbins does fall. I can slot him in. And then, man, we're pretty struggling here. Marlon Mack has a chance to win that slot. Let's get Marlon Mack in. He's got a chance to be that starter over at Houston. So let's get him in, and hopefully we'll be able to plug in Marlon Mack whenever we can. And now I think I've waited long enough on wide receiver. So hopefully some of these guys, as they're coming around, will start falling down to me. Khalil Shakir is interesting down people's runs. Anyone interested? Man, I'm almost tempted to take a flyer on OBJ or Jarvis Landry here. I think I'm going to go Jarvis Landry as certainly one of the choices. And let's see, running back, not much there. Darrell Williams, I suppose, has gone to Arizona. That is interesting for sure. At tight end, Brevin Jordan, I've already got two pretty good tight ends. Let's see the rookies out of there. Daniel Bellinger, I really like, obviously, as well. I don't know what tight end rookies. I want flex rookies. I got 10 seconds. Wow. Khalil Shakir. Yeah, let's get Khalil Shakir locked in. He's got a chance, to win a place in that Buffalo offense. Gabe Davis, obviously, lots of hype about Gabe Davis, but who knows? He can end up having the exact same role that he had last year, and then the hype dies, and turns out Khalil Shakir is the man there. So let's wait and see how good he is. But we're in the 17th round, so that's a little bit of a flyer. And here we go, last round. Who we got? Let's take a flyer at running back. Maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Let's take Zaquandre White. If you haven't rostered him already, worth a shot. You need a piece of that Miami backfield for sure. Zaquandre White. Let's get him locked in. Let's have a look at our roster and see how we did. We have Josh Allen, Leonard Fournette, Miles Sanders, Keenan Allen, Hunter Renfrow, Adam Thielen, Cole Kmet, Melvin Gordon, Irv Smith Jr., Matthew Stafford. Then on our bench, we got Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, and Tua Tagovailoa. And now we got Gus Edwards, Marlon Mack, Jarvis Landry, Khalil Shakir, and Zaquandre White. What I'm really interested to see is how are some of these other teams looking in terms of their, overall layout. Let's see. We were worried about, let's see, team number 4. Their quarterbacks are Zach Wilson and Davis Mills and Carson Wentz. Team 4, they're not worrying me this year. So all of a sudden, I'm not worried about 11 other teams. I'm worried about 10 other teams because team 4 are not going to win this year with those quarterbacks. Let's look at team 5. They got Herbert and Jameis Winston, Jared Goff, and Sam Darnold. They're one injury away from not competing. Team 6, Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones and Matt Corral. Not too worried about that. Team 7, Lamar Jackson, Matt Ryan, Drew Lock. Jackson and Ryan is solid. They've done a pretty good job there with not a lot to work with. Team 8, Murray and Watson. Watson could be suspended. Who have they got to back them up? Marcus Mariota. Team 8, they're in trouble too. Team 9, Brady and Cousins. Doesn't get much safer than that for this year, but going on, they could be in a bit of trouble. Team 10, Fields, Tannehill, Trubisky. They might not have a quarterback in the league next year. Team 10, not worried about them at all. Team 11, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Sam Howell. Not worried about them either, to be honest. Team 12, Trevor Lawrence, Kenny Pickett, Jimmy Garoppolo. Hey, taking these quarterbacks may not be the best thing for your team, but it sure does hurt the other team. That is absolutely undeniable after watching this. A lot of these teams are really hurting and really suffering. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to trade away some of those quarterbacks. I'm going to get some of those 23 picks, and I'm going to fill some of those positions like wide receiver that I really need. So, experiment done. Does it work? Yeah, kind of. Would I do it? Hey, I'd love to try. So, maybe I will one day. Thanks for watching. See you in the next experiment.